Alright, what's up gang? It's Timmydahitman back with another tutorial, and today I'm going to be showing y'all different ways to create bounce with your hi-hats. So I got this beat pulled up that I just made to one of my loops. The hi-hats are as basic as you can make them, which is just every 2-step. So yeah, this is what this sounds like. So the first way to create some sauce or some bounce with your hi-hat is to change the velocity or volume. So I'm gonna go to my MIDI kit over here and I'm gonna go to this shadow hi-hat MIDI preset. All right, so what's going on this MIDI is that every other hi-hat has the velocity turned down a little bit, aka the volume. This creates a simple bounce, but it's something more than every 2-step. It's the same basic pattern, but the velocity gives it a type of bounce, like a kind of a shadowy bounce. So here's what that sounds like. We can do it like this, where it kind of give it like a fade, come back up. So yeah, you can play with the velocities in different ways, different patterns. You can do every step is like up and down, kind of like an old school record, kind of mimic somebody playing like the cymbal on a real drum set. Or you can do it like I just had it, where it kind of fades out and fades back in. The next way you can create bounce is space. And what I mean by that is, like you see here, I just took some of the notes away. I didn't change the velocity again. I haven't added any rolls or any crazy pitching or nothing else. I just took away some and gave it some bounce. See, even that right there give it a crazy bounce. Just having the velocity up and down and taking away some, giving the beat some space, you already got you some bounce right there. All right, so next is the third and most obvious way to create bounce on your hi-hats is to do hi-hat rolls. Just be tasteful and selective to where you put them at. Maybe go off of the 808, the way it's hitting, the snare, or even the melody. So I just did something real random right here using the paint tool. So you can take the paintbrush and click you in 1/6 step, 1/4, 1/3, or a half step and draw you in something real quick. So I'll just try 1/6 real quick just to show y'all. Just stretch it out like that. Then you can go to 1/3, stretch that out like that. And then you can go to a half step and just have you a pattern like that. And of course, this is random and it might not sound good. So I'm gonna take these away. And this is what I drew together to create bounce with the other two things, velocity and space. Next, the fourth way that you can create bounce is the pitch. Using different pitches on your hi-hats can give it a nice sound and can kind of give it a slightly different bounce. And remember, use this at your own discretion. You don't want to pitch your hi-hats down to C4 and have the whole thing sounding like this. I mean, it ain't no rules. If that's what you like, then that's what you like, but I wouldn't suggest it. The next way to give your hi-hats bounce is by panning. That means making them shift from left to right instead of just sitting in the middle. So you can go over here, click pan, and dragging your hi-hats up or dragging these up will pan it to the right, and pulling them down will drag them to the left. So you can do a play on the hi-hats where you kind of start it off more to the left and then pan it out to the right, or you can just do something where it starts to the left and ends in the middle, or you can do something where the hi-hats are just flicking all over the place. So let's hear how this sounds with the patterns going left and right using this panning technique. Alright, another way to add bounce to your hi-hats is by using effect plugins like Effectrix, Reverb, Shaperbox, Halftime, Gross Beat, things like that. So what I do is just move around and just click things on and off and see what I like. Let's give it a little reverse. And let's give it a little phaser with some stretch and some vinyl. Let's see what that sounded like. Now that don't match this beat, but that's hard. That's hard, bro. Lastly, you can add things to give your hi-hats a little bit more life and more space by just using a little reverb, turning it down some. And let's just widen it up a little bit. All right, let's see what that sounded like. Alright guys, so that wraps it up for this video. Remember, you can use one of these or you can use all 5 of them together, mix them and match them, but do it at your own discretion. Do what the beat calls for. Of course, you don't want to overdo it like I did in this video. Just look at your beat as a meal and look at things like this as seasoning. You don't want to over salt your food and it be too salty where you can't eat it. Look at your beat like that. Do just enough to where it's perfect and don't overdo it, because you still want an artist to be able to get on it and rap on it and catch the flow. And if your stuff is all over the place, then it'll make it hard for them. So all right guys, like this video, let me know what you think in the comment section, and let me know what video you want to see next. Let's get it.